I've had about 5 cups of coffee, so just to warn you. If we could switch over to the other computer. Yeah, as Brian mentioned, life for me was also kind of an almost seminal event, kind of understanding what this is, because you start with this very simple little system, and as Brian mentioned, very simple rules. And every generation you run this, it calculates a new pattern. What we're actually looking at are the cells of life here. And the rules are so simple, but yet what you're seeing, the patterns here, are somehow encoded in that rule set. And every time I run this same pattern, the same starting pattern, you're going to get the exact same results here. So if I go back and reload that pattern and then keep running it, we'll get the exact same thing again. Oh, we can turn the volume down just a little bit. Now if I run this and fast forward, you see this whole little ecosystem is kind of coming out of that one little starting position. And every time I load that starting position, we're going to get the exact same pattern. And the amount of compression that represents is astounding. And not just compression, but just the generative power of systems like this, which seem mirrored in reality. Things like DNA and chemistry are able to give rise to this incredible complexity we see in the world around us. We can load other rule sets here, and you get a sense of kind of the diversity. Just by changing the rules slightly, you get just amazing patterns. And again, these can be deterministic patterns or more stochastic random patterns. The deterministic ones really are more interesting to me. Some of them can also be used as simulation. And in fact, a lot of the games that we do are based upon very simple rules like this, giving rise to things that basically mimic reality in some sense. So you can get very organic patterns. You can get things that are much more kind of representational. And people have actually built whole computers inside of these systems. So you can just kind of get a sense of the complexity that's available within a system like this, that you can actually build whole computing devices within this. But at any rate, so for me this has been like, inspirational, not just in terms of kind of the way reality works, but also a way of looking at the world that we can kind of convey to kids. And it's a way of understanding the world rather than top-down theory. It's more bottom-up. What can simple rules give rise to? So I want to go into a PowerPoint here really quick and just talk a little bit kind of about the game business and kind of where that's been trending, and give you a sense of kind of where we're going, where I'm going in games. Basically, we all grew up in this age of industrial mass production, and we're kind of used to buying manufactured artifacts that professionals designed back in some drawing room R&D lab somewhere. We're used to kind of living in standardized areas, housing. That idea of mass production has kind of followed through the rest of our life. All the way to media, entertainment. There's this broadcast model that some guys back in a room make a movie, a book, whatever, and then throw it over the wall, and the consumers go eat it up. But yet as kids, I think we all have design aspirations. I think it's something that we innately kind of want to do or enjoy doing. There was this professor that went into a kindergarten class and asked how many kids could dance, and all the kids raised their hands. How many can draw? They all raised their hands. How many can sing? Again, they all raised their hands. And then went into a college class and asked the same 3 questions. And of course, nobody raised their hand, And he concluded that education was the process of teaching us what we can't do. And, but yet, we are allowed to kind of convey our design aspirations into safe areas, like decoration, wardrobe, etc. So we are kind of allowed certain areas to kind of express ourselves. And some people can kind of carry that further into kind of the design manufactured world, but it really requires fairly elaborate skill sets. Other people kind of take it more to fringe. They want to express themselves, and they kind of break outside the box and do it in other ways. But when computers came around, one of the really popular things that people first figured out they could do was personalize their desktop. And it was amazing how powerful that concept was for the average person, just the fact that my computer looks different than yours. And now we're starting to see that trend carried out into the manufactured world, that the artifacts, the tools that we surround ourselves with, want to become an expression of our identity at a deeper and deeper level. And we've been seeing that in games as well. We give players tools to build things in games, like characters, and it's amazing how much they will grab these tools and just use them and surprise us and do amazing things. And the amount of stuff they make is incredible, too. They will just make huge amounts of content. This is one of the fan sites we have for The Sims, and they have over 100,000 people